China's Yantian port has sent shivers through the global shipping industry. The port was reduced to a fraction of its capacity due to COVID prevention measures.
Although the situation has improved, delays have caused global shippers to worry that they're in the grip of yet another logistics crisis. Peter Sanders from one of the world's biggest international shipping associations. I asked him to put things into perspective.
China is the key manufacturing hub for exports goods that travels across the globe on container ships. Yantian is situated in the southern part of China in the Pearl River Delta, and it's one of the key exports port out of China. But there are other main export ports out of China, and I guess that is the silver lining to this latest disruption that we see on the global supply chains.
So what is the effect of this disruption going to be? There's talk of shortages lasting until Christmas. Just what will this do to the global supply chain?
I think the whole maritime industry all across the global supply chains, but certainly also in container shipping, have been accustomed to working from one state of emergency to the next, and this breakdown of container throughput in the port of Yantian is just the most recent disruption to that. Heading into the traditional peak season for containerized exports out of the Far East, I think we are easy off if this only lasts throughout the year. Our expectations are that the current stressful situation for the global supply chains are likely to go on for, up to 12 more months.
And earlier this year, of course, we had the blockage in the Suez Canal with the Ever Given. How does the disruption from that incident compare to this?
I think they are both significant disruptions, but not to be compared beyond that. Of course, blocking a central maritime choke point like the Suez Canal was critical beyond the scope of container shipping. This is very much related to container shipping only and to one port particular, or actually one part of a port. But obviously, it's massively disrupting for container lines that have normally the port of Yantian as a port of call along the main lanes from Far East into Europe, as well as Far East into Mediterranean or Middle East, or even across the Pacific. So of course it's massively disrupting cargoes flowing in and out of Yantian. But what we see right now from many of the great liner companies is that they're basically omitting to call Yantian if possible in order to limit the damage done, of course. So plenty of working with key clients, of course, announcing delays on top of already existing delays into the supply chains. And right now what we're hearing from some of the main liners is that you should add another 16 days on top of what is already, say, a delayed cargo moving out of the area around Yantian, if it gets moving at all.
Do you think this will have an effect on China's economy and the global economy?
Fortunately not. Our intelligence in the area right now tells us that the situation is easing at the moment, but still, I mean, one thing is that the situation is easing. It has been developing more critical over the past 3 weeks, so it will take time to unwind. I doubt that we will see this in the big numbers from Chinese GDP, but obviously all of those involved in the global supply chain, this being in particular perhaps the small importers, small shippers, but also large-scale shippers. I mean, if they are lacking the key critical goods that they wanted to sell for the Christmas season, and also going back to school season, for instance, in North America, I mean, that is a critical part of your revenue. So obviously there are damage to see in many places from a disruption like this one.